Hello everyone, greetings from Cambodia. I recently decided that I wanted to try making some video blogs while I'm here because I want to be able to look back on this years from now and really be thrown back into what I was feeling and what I was thinking. Also, I think my friends and family back home will be very happy to see my face. And I remember when I was applying to Peace Corps that the YouTube videos I found were really important for me to be able to kind of get some perspective on what it's like to be a Peace Corps volunteer. So here we are. Some context. I am almost 5 months into my Peace Corps experience. Technically, I have been a Peace Corps volunteer for over a bit of 2 months, coming up on 3 months now at site. Before then, it was 2 months of training in a different place. But now this is my bedroom, complete with my Ganesh tapestry from home, some Walt Whitman written on my walls, and a mosquito net for my bed where I sleep. My room is pretty sweet. It gets really hot. It's like cement walls, so usually if I touch the wall, I could feel the heat because I am in Cambodia and it is the tropics and it gets pretty fucking hot. Right now it's December and technically it's the winter of Cambodia, which means it drops down to maybe 85 degrees and the Cambodians get really cold and they wear sweaters and gloves and hats and I just sweat. But for the most part, right now it's actually pretty nice. So I guess I could talk about, what it's like at site so far. Like I said, I'm just at almost 3 months now. So I've kind of got an idea of where I live at the very least. I know where to go for lunch. I know where to buy my fruit. I know the people I like to sit down with and angkoilang, which means to sit and play. The first couple months are really hard because, again, I'm the only foreigner here. I am the first volunteer at site, which means no one's ever been here before as a Peace Corps volunteer. So, not only is it strange for me, but for this community and for this village, there's someone here who is a foreigner who looks and acts completely different than anything they've ever experienced before. So it's strange for them as well. But that being said, I've been welcomed with such generosity and kindness that I feel very lucky to be here. That being said, it's still really hard. I don't have running water. I don't have a refrigerator. Electricity comes and goes pretty often. So it's definitely an adjustment. I've never had to take a bucket shower before. Never had to use a squatty potty. But those things, honestly, the physical is much easier to get used to and accustomed to versus the emotional struggles you go through because I am very far from home and very far from the people I love and will be for a long time. So that's hard. Language barriers are hard. Cultural differences are very hard. For example, just today I was at the market and I wanted to buy some limes because I drink filtered water and squeezing a lemon into it is kind of nice. So I went to go buy some and this woman asked me, just straight out, how much money, or like, where do you get money from? So I told her, the school doesn't pay me. And then she asked, how much money do you get? Like, how do you buy food? And I told her, well, every day I get a little bit, which is true. As a Peace Corps volunteer, we make about $4 a day, which you can live off of. You can get everything you need and more. You could buy some snacks. So, I told her I don't make a lot. And then she told me, well, why don't you go and buy a car for all the kids? And I was like, what? Um, I don't have any money. And then she said, well, you should buy a car. And all of this is in Khmer, by the way, so maybe some things were miscommunicated. But I'm pretty sure that was the gist. With all the generosity, there are some people who still will reduce you to a dollar sign and try to see what they can get out of you. I try to understand that I'm coming here with a perspective that has been informed and influenced by a culture that is realistically on the opposite side of the world. So it's vastly different. Certain things that are just rude to us, like how much money do you make? Um, how much do you weigh? Why aren't you married yet? Um, all of those things are just, you know, part of conversation. It's small talk. That's just small talk here. That's been hard. But on the whole, so far, I've had more really wonderful days versus the really hard ones. And I think, like anything else in life, if you can try to keep perspective on that balance, um, the daily measurement of suffering versus contentment. Um, my suffering was usually self inflicted. Um, Not so much physically, but more emotional suffering. Um, and the same can be said here. You know, right now, for example, I'm in my room filming a video blog, whereas I could technically be out in my community being a wonderful Peace Corps volunteer, developing relationships and playing with kids and, building like water vessels and bathrooms. However, I am in my room filming a video. But technically, that's Peace Corps goal number 3, sharing my experience with the people back home. Something new every day you learn. A lot of it, as you can see, is perspective. That's what I've learned, and that's what I've always kind of known, but being here amplifies everything. So your perspective on what's important, how you can look at your suffering and try to learn what you can get out of it and grow from it and not let it just break you down. It's kind of a necessary skill to have to be a Peace Corps volunteer, regardless of your circumstances, to be able to look at your environment, your situation, and see the silver lining. Because sometimes that silver lining, however small and thin it may be, is all you really have. For me, I'm still trying to gather as much silver lining as I can. And when I can't see it, I know that it will come. I try to remember that for a large portion of my life, being here is something that I prayed for and that I wanted. Being here, being a Peace Corps volunteer is something that I had let go of too many times. So now that I'm here and this dream has come to fruition and I'm knee deep in it now, I can kind of even speak the language. To be able to bring this dream to fruition and to be living it is something that's incredibly special. And I'm so thankful to be here. Another important skill set as a Peace Corps volunteer, one of the most important tools in the toolbox, is gratitude. Just to be thankful for the little things. Like, for example, my host family is wonderful, but I feel kind of disconnected from them sometimes, even more so than I'm just a foreigner, but because they're usually never home. So I'm home by myself a lot. I don't really answer to anybody about where I'm going, what I'm doing. I eat dinner with them every night, which is I look forward to and enjoy. But for the most part, sometimes I feel like I'm just a person that lives here, which is kind of sad. But, I do have 2 more years to develop these relationships. However, I am extremely thankful for my little host sister. She's about 2 years old, and she has embraced me more than anybody else in the community has. When a little girl is just really excited to see you every time she sees you. So I'm thankful for that. I'm also really thankful for the pool hall next door that I live, like on top of essentially. I just got Wi-Fi that I am uploading this with. But yeah, on the whole, I can't complain right now. Um, every day, my daily schedule is really simple, and I enjoy that a lot. Back home, I was living probably a more unhealthy lifestyle than I should have been. Working way too much, studying too much, fitting in a social life, just burning the candle on both ends until I was managing with a stub of wax. But you know what? I was making it work. However, now it's a different story. I teach at the high school about 20 hours a week, and I'm also starting up some clubs. So in about an hour, I will head back to the school and start my first singing club because a lot of the kids said they wanted to sing. So let's sing. Then I also will have tomorrow a book club and a writing club, which I look forward to a lot. Then on Friday, conversation club. And on Saturday, I teach pronunciation to the teachers. All my other time is spent reading. I've been reading a lot, writing, less than I wanted to, but I'm still writing. Biking, been biking a hell of a lot. It's really good. I mean, exercise is always good, but to just bike in the middle of some rice fields and make my presence known to some villages that would never expect this tall white girl to be biking through, and even just to show my face to some of my students who live really far and see that I'm still there. Biking has been wonderful, and I'm really thankful for that. Otherwise, I Lang with some people I really like, some friends I've made here. Take my bucket showers. Lay in front of a fan until the sweat has evaporated off of my body. Talk to my friends back home as much as I can. As well as remembering that this is an experience that is temporary and is passing very quickly. At the beginning of training, it felt like time was moving like grain by grain through an hourglass. It was just passing so slowly. And now I've been losing track of days. It's mid-December and it's almost Christmas and I feel nothing because it's so hot. And this is a Buddhist country, so there is just no sign of Christmas, no Christmas music, nothing at all. It's extremely conflicting with the way I've perceived time based on my entire life on the seasons, because there's only 2 here and it's dry and wet, both of which are extremely hot. So my concept of time has been altered, and time is going by very quickly. Soon I will have been here almost a quarter of the way down, and I still feel like I'm figuring my shit out. So I know this is temporary, and like everything else that is temporary in life, I want to experience it fully and learn to let it go when the time comes. So, most I could do is try to preserve my memories, and here we are. Hope that this has been informative in some ways, and those that have missed this face for whatever reason can now enjoy the glory. um, I hope I'll be making some more videos in the future. I will. I'm bored enough, don't worry. Um, Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. And I plan on taking some video of my bike ride down the rice fields because it's beautiful and I want you to see it and I want to remember it. So, until then, I will see you next time. Chumlipsua. Knyom Swalangyak. This is Jenny, signing off in Cambodia.